Hello, welcome to my channel. Today I'll be making a Penpal letter to my friend Priya. This is my favorite envelope to use because it has a really good seal on the back and it gives me plenty of room to work. The first thing that I like to do whenever I start designing a new Penpal letter and envelope is to pick out some things that go together. All my paper, stickers, and tape that I'll want to use for this project. I really wanted to make this video because I love watching other Penpal with me videos, and I've been watching them for a long time on YouTube, and I thought it would be really cool just to get a quick video together and share my process. This is a paper with just a bunch of writing on it, kind of travel themed, and I'm going to use just one line of it. I also really like my tropical big paper set because it has the foiled accents like on the pineapples. This smaller tropical set is really nice, but sometimes the colors don't go well with the rest of the paper that I have. I ended up choosing this one with the pink flowers just because it kind of tied it into the accents on the other papers that I'd picked out. Sometimes I won't end up using every piece of paper that I choose, but I will just tuck them back into the respective books and use them up later. I was really torn here between the picture of the leaves with the pink background and the tropical birds, but I ended up choosing the tropical birds because I think that it's something that Priyanka would really like. This is my little box of memos and paper scraps. This is a tiny envelope that I ended up keeping and unwrapping so that I can use as a template to make other future little envelopes. I do have some pre-made envelopes which I was searching through here, but none of them really match the theme. And then I realized that I had the matching paper little accents to go with the tropical bird themed paper that I picked out earlier. So I chose this Stay Wild little paper scrap because I thought it was something she would really enjoy, and then went through the rest of them just to see if there was anything else that I wanted to add to this project. I actually purchased this pack along with the paper pack together at Tuesday Morning, which is my favorite place to get discount craft supplies. In here I did end up picking out another little tag which had a tropical theme with the pink in the background that I'd almost picked out as my paper, and also has the little shiny foil around the top hole. And I think that that kind of goes with my theme of having a little bit of shine on everything. Next, I wanted to pick out some stickers. This is for all my bigger sticker sheets that don't fit in with my regular stickers. So I tried to pick out tropical leaves. These are kind of a flat matte transparent stickers that I really like. They don't always go with everything. Next, I wanted to go ahead and pick out some smaller stickers to use as accents here and there. I have a tropical leaf set which is going to work really well here. I ended up picking two kind of loose palm fronds along with a more solid leaf. Then I got into this kind of green pack. It does have some tropical things in it, like this drink sticker, which I thought she'd really enjoy. And then it also has like some leaves and wreaths, and I ended up picking out this tropical leaf. So another thing that I wanted to get out of here is a mail tag in case I don't end up using the other tag that I have picked out. These are all ones that I kind of have pre-made. So this one just has a little cactus stamp on it and some twine for the tag rope. I looked at a few more. This one has the same stripe pattern as the paper that I picked out, but the black didn't really go, that was on the back. I had another one that's got this leaf pattern and some compasses. But once again, I kind of like the other one. It's got a little more matching on the green. The last thing I wanted to do is just pick out some miscellaneous stickers that I thought might go along with kind of this tropical vibe that I've got going on. At the end of the day, I don't usually end up using everything that I have picked out, and sometimes that can be a big pain to go ahead and put things up at the end because I have to find where everything went. But fortunately I've been using the same organization system for a while now, so it's pretty easy for me to find where all these stickers go and keep them in their respective bags. This is a set of stickers I really like. I got it on AliExpress, which is where I get a lot of my stuff. But once again, these have a lot of gold foiling on them, and so they kind of match all of my other accents. I thought this one was really cool, some simple, the good life words, and then the camera also has some gold foiling. It took me a while to get these back in the bag. I really had a struggle here. Pausing my own commentary for a minute, I will say that this is my first video that I've ever made. I'm pretty happy with how it's come out, especially for a first attempt. But if you have any suggestions for how to get better audio quality, how to get better camera angles, or just anything in general that you think could have been done better, leave a comment down below and help me improve. Oh, I love these map stickers. They kind of end up going with everything that I do, and I use them quite a lot. These tape holders I got for Christmas, and I really, really love them. Please excuse my cat. These are some mermaid stickers that I got for Christmas as well. And then these are little samples that Penpals have sent me. The rest of these are tapes that I've collected through the years. I've been doing this for quite a long time, so I have a pretty good collection of paper tapes and stickers built up. Okay, now that I've pretty much gotten everything picked out that I know I'm going to want to use for this project, I start sort of organizing it. Stickers in one place, tags in the other, paper kind of spread out where I can see everything, and I'm ready to get out my crafting scissors. I like to look at the envelope and just sort of plan out where things might go to figure out if they're actually going to go inside the letter itself or onto the envelope. First thing I'm going to do is make my tiny envelope that I want to go inside, and I decided to do it on the bird patterned paper, and so what I'll do is just sort of roughly trace it to get a feel for where I need to cut. And it doesn't really need to be perfect because I can always trim in the corners if it doesn't want to fold correctly. The other good thing about making a tiny envelope is that it doesn't really have to stay together that well because it'll be protected inside of the main envelope. Whenever I use a large piece of paper to make a custom large envelope, I try to use really good double-sided tape to make it stay together correctly. But on these tiny guys, you can get a little more imprecise with your measurements, and you can use just plain glue to keep them together. I do want to note that that paper scrap you see over there with the birds on it will definitely not go to waste. Even small pieces of paper I will keep in my paper scraps box to use for later, even if I just use a hole punch to make maybe some little confettis or something. Nothing is going to go to waste. So this is my envelope. I'm pretty happy with it. It's not exactly perfect on the corners, but since it's not going to have to actually go through the mail, that won't be a problem. I've decided I'm just going to use glue for this, and what I like to do is just get out an old notebook so that I don't get glue all over everything. Give it a good bit on the edges and then flatten it back down. It usually dries pretty quickly. I've made sure that it hasn't stuck to the inside of the envelope, and now it's ready to go. The next thing I get to do is actually start on the envelope, and I'm actually going to use this bird pattern on the outside as well because I just really, really like it. So I'm going to kind of roughly trace out the size that I'd like it to be. This little top part will just come right off, and then I'm going to rip it. I really like doing a lot of rips and not a lot of precise cutting because I think it kind of gives it that crafty look, and that's just my personal preference. I'm also deciding that I want to do about one line of this text on the front, and I'm going to use the one that has the little anchor in it right there. So what I'll do is just cut out that row, and I am trying to be pretty precise on this one because I want to use the rest of the paper later, so I don't want to mess up the text on either side of it. And that'll just go right along the bottom of my envelope. Alright, and then I'll set these aside for later. Yep, I like where that is. The other thing I'm going to do is I think use this pineapple pattern to fill in this corner right here. I'm not going to do any rips on this one. I'll let it just kind of be straight down and fill in that space. This is where I'll get out my paper cutter so that I can get a nice easy straight edge and waste as little paper as possible. Unfortunately, I need a new blade for my paper cutter, so this edge right here is really rough, and I'm just going to trim down that little excess. Next, I'll do a little mock-up just to make sure that I'm happy with the placement of everything, that I'm not covering up the text of her name, and that the stickers that I've picked out for the front have a good place to go, and I think they do. One thing I've learned is that you should never write the address of the person you're sending it to on anything but the envelope itself. As much as I try to make sure that everything stays down by using double-sided tape on the corners as well as glue all along the edges, things always happen, and I have had a few envelopes get roughed up in the mail and not arrive entirely in one piece. And I have had at least one envelope lost because the address was on a separate piece of paper that was glued down and got ripped off. So I don't do that anymore. I usually end up placing my own return address on the back of the envelope just so that I have more room to work on the front, since I don't like to put addresses anywhere but on the envelope itself. And I will write her address pretty small underneath her first name so that I have room for the camera to go underneath her last name. To tape down this little thing at the bottom, I actually ended up going with a little double-sided Scotch roller that I have, this right here with the star pattern. It's really great for getting a good permanent adhesive seal on things that are small and that I can't get double-sided tape onto the back of. Unfortunately, this particular paper is pretty thin, and so I know that if I try to use my glue stick, the edges are going to peel up and it won't make it to the destination. This was a pretty thick piece of cardstock, and so I ended up putting a piece of tape in the middle, a glue stick around the edges, and then just a little dot of super glue on the center as well, and that's to make sure that it actually stays on there. I have to be careful with super glue because it can bleed onto the envelope. Fortunately, where I'm placing this, it's over top 2 separate layers of paper, so I won't have that problem this time. I'm going to go ahead and use this holographic shell and pink tape just to kind of cover up this corner where it seems a little bit bare. I thought I'd take a minute just to say a little something about myself. I'm currently living in the northern United States, and there's quite a lot of snow, which it's my first time seeing snow, so that's been both really interesting and very difficult to adjust to. I have one cat, and his name is Marcel, and you'll probably hear him in the background of any future videos because he makes a lot of noise. I don't send out as many Penpal letters as I would like. I only have about 4 people that I write to very regularly, and I try to get out at least 1 letter each per month, as well as maybe 1 or 2 miscellaneous letters to people that I write a little bit less often. So I choose 1 more sticker for the front and I'm about done. Unfortunately, I had a camera change whenever I paused, but that's okay. So I moved the little sticky covering up her last name and adhered my last 2 stickers to the front. So now I'm just going to work on the back. I'm going to do 2 more ripped accents, 1 in the tropical with pink flower and 1 in the gold foil pineapple. And that's just to not leave a plain back. I really like to have at least a little bit of something back there, as well as my address. So I get out my notebook to use as my little gluing station, trying to keep my workspace as neat as possible. I usually pile up all of my paper scraps and trash over to the side to sort through later and decide what's big enough for me to keep. Overall, I'm happy with how this is coming out. I think all the elements go well together, and I think it's definitely a style that my friend Priya is gonna enjoy whenever she opens it. I just trim off a little bit of edge here, and the envelope's just about done. I'll put the address on it later, so now I just need to pick out some paper to actually write my letter on. I decided to go with this pink paper since I didn't actually get around to using my paper with the pink stripes on it, and I really wanted to make sure that I get enough of that color in, and that it's not all golden green, and kind of I tie in the birds that are on the front. I chose this flamingo tape that I really like and don't get the opportunity to use enough. I always like to put at least a few tapes and stickers on my paper just to give it some interest, and if I put them on beforehand, I can write around them and make it look very neat. Last thing for this side of the page is some sparkly tape that I'm going to put down here at the bottom of the drink. Then I just trim tape off of the edges, and I'll go and grab my handy dandy hole punch to get the tape out of these little holes that it covers up, just so that it's not sticking to itself or something else in the envelope whenever I mail it. Now on to the back of the page. I usually try to predict how many pages that I'll be writing to the person before I get started, so I'll decorate at least 2 pages because Priya's a very good friend and I'll probably have a lot to say. So I've gone with my tropical leaf sticker, some tropical leaf tape, and then my Good Vibes and High Tides tape that I've cut, and it's got the gold foiling as well, and I have just the High Tides part. Now I think one more sticker ought to do it. I'm going to snip this, and I'm going to go with this map sticker, and I'm going to rip it so that it's got a little bit of a rougher look to it, and it's not taking up so much space on my letter. And this sticker is actually thick enough that it rips pretty well and I get a nice looking edge on it. And then I'll go with my hole punch again just to clear out those little sticky bits so they don't stick to anything and make the letter hard to open. And I'm not going to let the other part of this sticker go to waste. I'm going to go to my next sheet of paper and I'll end up putting that up here in this top corner. That way my sheets of paper go together and I'm not wasting anything. Once again, I'll punch out these little holes, and I think that it just makes my letter overall look a little neater. I really wanted to use one of these 2 darker stickers, but honestly, if you don't put them on a really white or bright background, they end up looking pretty black, and it didn't really go with my theme. So I put my Good Life sticker on there, which actually looked very good with the pink background, and then I chose a piece of map tape, and then my little other palm frond sticker. I ended up not decorating the back of this one because I've got a pretty busy schedule coming up and I'm worried that I'll decorate more than I can end up writing. I can always add in more tape and stickers later if my letter ends up being that long. The last thing that I'll need to do is add Priya's name to the top of the first piece of paper. I ended up accidentally sticking my head into the frame for this, so it kind of looks like I magically clipped in her name in pen. The last thing that I want to do is fill the little envelope that I made earlier with some goodies. In this case, I ended up putting in the 2 stickers that I didn't use for this project that I had picked out earlier, and then I need to also choose which mail tag I want to go with. I chose the one that I made previously with the twine, and I set aside the palm frond one to use at a later date. Whenever I purchase stickers, I do try to keep my pen pals in mind and order at least one thing that I know that they would like so that I have something cool to send them. Priyanka likes to travel, so I picked out this Keep It Simple camper sticker, as well as this little wreath sticker that says Bind My Wandering Heart to Thee, and lastly a little Pinky Promise sticker. I really think that she'll enjoy these, and she loves putting stickers on things like her water bottle, notebooks, anything like that, so I always have some good ones to send to her. I really enjoy swapping stickers with people, and often if I get a perfect sticker like this horse one that I know someone will really enjoy, I'll pass it along to the person it makes me think of. The horse sticker and the mandala sticker were both something that another pen pal sent to me, and I think Priyanka will really love it. Lastly, I'm including a few of these really cool holographic stickers. They're a little bit thinner, but they have a pretty cool effect if you put them on something like a water bottle. To top it off, I chose a few stickers from this teal pack, a succulent, a water droplet, and one that says Simple Things. Even when I'm sending mail to friends who don't like to decorate their envelopes or their letters as much as I do, I still send a fair amount of stickers and goodies just because it's something that makes me happy. They enjoy getting to open it when it arrives, and honestly, using up my current craft supplies just gives me an excuse to buy more. For the tape wrapping, I did sort of forget where my camera angles were, so a lot of it ended up happening off screen, but I do wrap quite a lot of washi tape around my little samplers. Like I said, I use it as an excuse to purchase more whenever I run out. Alright, all that's left is to put this in my envelope and then seal it up. I won't write the actual date on my mail tag until I send off the envelope because I have a habit of getting delayed in sending my mail. Alright, thanks for watching my first video. I really enjoyed making it and I hope that you enjoyed watching it. Leave me a like or a comment down below if there's something that I could do better or something that you really enjoyed. Thanks!